Say hi.
Hello.
Hi, Facebook
Look
Live.
at our computer.
Hey, what's going on? It's Chris Hall from the Computers for the Autistic Foundation
And Yahaira Lopez,
And
founder
this is our
of
computer.
Autism Sprinter. And we are live to you on Ask Why Mondays with our special guest, Chris Hall.
And my special guest from
Yahaira
Autism
Lopez.
Sprinters.
So, we're
And
coming
the
to you
kid.
live. And the Autism Sprinter.
So today, as I've been mentioning to a lot of people, that I've been going around donating these Kano computing kits to a bunch of companies and organizations. She's one of them. And I actually donated 2 of them to her. One for her son and one for her to donate to whoever she likes to donate to.
And no one for her brother.
Yeah. And, you know, it's a good cause to donate these items to, because it's an educational tool for kids, and there's a lot of opportunities for this kit to be used for. You can use it for anything, like making retro game consoles, making a little mini desktop, all that stuff. So, you know, it's a good opportunity, and I want to say thank you over to Kano for donating these so that she could
having some issues.
Yeah, we're having some issues with playing with the chair. And you know, it's good to see that these are going to a home that they're going to be appreciated for. So.
Definitely. So, okay. So, part of a series that we're hosting here at Autism Sprinter is Ask Why Mondays. My name is Yahaira. It starts with a Y, and I became a parent expert. So, what we do at Autism Sprinter is that we make sure that parents feel the power and feel empowered to become their expert. And Chris, who is an autistic, is the autistic expert, right? So we in the community, the autism community, parents, those living with autism, are our own experts. So today we're going to discuss a little bit. About what is autism. So Chris, as an adult living with autism, can you share to us what is autism?
Autism can be used in a lot of words. You know, a lot of words that even for me are hard to explain. And you know, living with autism is kind of a hard thing to go by. But you know, like I said, it's hard to explain, especially on camera.
It is.
But you know, I get up every day and I do everything like everybody else in the world, and at least I accomplish that.
Exactly.
And my goal is to help kids, just like her, to help kids be able to have an independent life as an adult, so that they don't end up getting put into group homes, and they can live independently, and they have the tools necessary to help them go on to the future. So what I do for a living is I build PCs for children with autism. I take my own time out of my own day to tinker, take apart, and refurbish computers, and selected by
Me.
not by you, but by IEPs and doctors' diagnoses of a child's disability. They're eligible to get a free computer donated to them with free support and stuff like that. So, you know, that's what I do for kids with autism or other disabilities, because you know, everybody deserves a chance to have a tool for their future, and that's what I like to do.
So autism is what we say at Autism Sprinter. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of being, right? And so autism is a neurological disorder, not a disease, people. Not a disease. It's a disorder that affects what?
It affects the neurological parts of the brain to which compensate with concentrating, motion skills, social skills, as well as also in some cases memory.
Exactly. Yep. So we want to show people and we're gonna host a series of this, and you're gonna see Chris very often with Ask Why Mondays, and you're gonna see him around a lot with Autism Sprinter, as he is
and the
definitely
digital kids.
and he is definitely one of our partners, right? And we built a partnership with him because we want the autism community to speak up. We want to hear those living with autism to speak up. And a parent like myself, I want to know what it is to live with autism, because I'm only a parent. So I am learning as I go, and I'm observing my son, and I am trying to support him by understanding his way of being. And then I have a person like Chris who can help me, that I can call actually and reach out and say, Chris, like, man, I don't know what I'm doing, like, can you help me understand this? And it's good to hear it directly from those who are now adults and have lived with autism and are continuing to live with autism, and how they can help parents like myself understand this disorder and how we can better support them within our own community, because oftentimes we are not supporting the autism community as we should. We are not accepting them. We are not, a lot of us are not even aware about what autism is. And so that's kind of hurtful as a parent, and I guarantee you it's hurtful for you, Chris, because people do not understand.
No, they don't, because a lot of people in the autistic community do not compensate and completely understand the disorder and think of it mostly as a crutch. No, autism is not a crutch. It's not a crutch. You know, I've lived with it my entire life, and you know what? I run a business entirely running on that concept.
Jameer. Okay?
And, you know, life can be difficult. You know, even right now, you know, I've been trying to look for a real job, and you know what? That's hard too, because a lot of companies won't hire you because you're autistic, because they're going to have to take the extra steps to, you know, pay somebody to talk to you in a way that you're going to understand. Like for me, in order for me to understand somebody has to talk to me in a nice, quiet, and calm voice, because if somebody's screaming at me, I don't understand that. It's not. And, you know, I'm going to respond in a negative outburst. So, and the most things that I try to do for myself is try to think more positive in life, because if you keep focusing on the negatives, you're not going to get anywhere out in this world, especially for those who, you know, I graduated with a certificate of completion. Half my friends work at McDonald's. Half of them work for, you know, Shaw's, all that stuff, and they get underpaid because they're disabled. You know, it's a shame that, you know, people discriminate and treat those with disabilities with such negativity. You know, we as organizations try to get out there and tell people that we're not as different as you. You know,
we just learn different.
Yeah, we learn different. We act different. But you know what? We are united, and we're not going to take anybody's crap. You know.
Yeah, because you're no different, right, Chris? And I think that as an organization, and also most importantly as a mom, I think that sometimes we undermine those with disabilities. I think that we put you guys in a box, right? We're putting you guys in a box because we are thinking that you guys are limited to doing things, when that is not the case. I think with effective accommodations, effective support, you guys are as most productive as anyone else, because at the end of the day, you're a human being, right? You have feelings, and you can feel when someone's being mean to you. You can feel when you are being treated differently than others because they know that you have this unique ability. I'm not going to say a disability, a unique ability, right?
Yeah, because you know, the words of disability really, you know, it really puts people down. You know, having autism is an ability, and
a unique ability.
Yeah, and nobody should be judged for it, and people should be looked upon as, you know, confident heroes who get up every single day and, you know, think about how they're going to survive every day doing the same thing or trying something new. You know, trying something new with autism is a whole different process. You know, like my organization, we're planning on moving out to Hyde Park. You know, that's a big
step.
That's a big step, and you know, there's going to be a lot of new things for me to understand and a lot of new things for me to learn.
New places to learn.
Yeah, and
new people to meet.
Yeah, and I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to go through what I have to do. Because, you know, I'm not going to let my disability limit me.
Exactly.
And you should not let anybody, if you have a disability and you're watching this, don't let anybody get in your way. Don't let anybody get you down. Think positive and kick the negatives out the door.
Exactly. And so, Chris, on Ask 5 Mondays, right? What can you share with us, and what can you tell parents like myself of ways that we can find ways to make sure that we're listening to you, that we're not just advocating for you guys all the time, but we're actually listening and we're paying attention. What are parent advice that you can give parents like myself who have kids who are like my son's age, that, you know, as he get older, what are things that we can help with in supporting their development?
Well, for the stages of development, get the help as soon as possible. As soon as you get your child's diagnosis, get them the immediate help they can get. Don't just sit around and wait for the state to help you. Go out to organizations like mine and hers to get those resources, get those connections with people who have children with autism or have autism, because that way, you know, you're going to have a supported team of people behind you. You know, no matter what happens, whatever situations, you know, our type of organizations are going to be here to lend you a hand, even if it's not financial. You know, you got to think about that and think to yourself that I need help. Where can I go? Or local organizations is the best way to go. First, state organizations are second, because a lot of the times, and I've had this experience, state organizations take way too long to compensate and stuff like that. So it's, you know, you gotta get down and local before you go to state. So
yeah. So most importantly is at the earliest age that you can receive a diagnosis of autism, I believe,
which is
between 18 months to
the latest is kind of the
earliest. We're talking about the earliest. So the earliest is about what, 18 months to 3 years old, I think it is. So between the ages of 18 months to 3 years old, if you're seeing any cognitive delays in your child, which
like speech delays, possible repetitive behaviors, repetitive speech for those that may have speech or had language and all of a sudden lost it. Or those who don't speak at all. For example, when I was younger, I actually was diagnosed with Asperger's, which is no longer a part of the spectrum, and to which autism is kind of cognated as 3 passageways of low functioning, high functioning, and right in the between.
Moderate,
yeah. Moderate. So they kind of changed all that.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So I hope your parents are aware. You better visit the DSM-5 because there's been a lot of changes to the diagnosis in the criteria.
There's no more Asperger's. There's no more PDD. None of that stuff. No longer a word.
A lot of kids' diagnoses are changing from autism to ADHD, so parents be aware, stay informed.
Yeah.
And so you can get a diagnosis as early as 18 months to 3 years old, and you can receive services all the way up to the age of 22 through public education.
Which is kind of a joke.
Well, we can go into that, a whole different topic, because I think that's a whole different Monday that we can come here and discuss how we feel special education should be reformed for kids with special needs. Not just kids with autism, but kids with special needs. And how general, parents like you, people like Chris who are living with autism, we should be able to support and bridge the gap between educators and the public school system, as well as organizations, and how we can all come together as one to reform special education and what it really looks like and what it should look like. So,
open the box. Hey, bring the box over here, buddy.
Open the box. Let's show the people on Facebook Live what the box looks like. Come here, Juju. Come here. Let's show the people what the Kano computer kit looks like.
And that's mine.
And that's Juju.
Yeah. What it is, it's a small form factor computer that runs on a special board, just like this. And this is the whole computer.
Yeah. That's what it looks like, Jameer. It's not the regular computer that you're aware of, so we're gonna learn something new.
And it runs on a tiny. It runs on an SD card.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's pretty awesome.
And you plug it in. Plug it in like this. And you have this special case for it that you can put together when you get home, because I'm not doing it for you.
Chris, thank you.
Because
now
books.
I'm gonna be up all night trying to figure this out.
There's
But
a
you
book.
know I'm gonna hit you up on Facebook.
There's actually a whole book.
And this is the keyboard.
And it actually has a book and stickers and.
This is pretty awesome. This is pretty awesome. So this, my people of Facebook Live, this is what real networking, real support looks like. Real organizations coming together, because we're not organizations, we're more like partners, right? This is what partnership looks like. This is what happens when you have an adult with autism supporting his own community by giving out and donating items to help others with autism. I think that's pretty phenomenal. If you're not following Computers for Autistics, for the Autistics Foundation, I don't know what you're missing, but you definitely should follow them. And so, I mean, we could sit here all day and have a big conversation about autism, but at the end of the day, autism is a lifestyle, right? It's a disorder, not a disease.
Yeah.
And it's what, 1 in 68 children are 69 are diagnosed with autism. And you parents, if you feel like your child is having any type of cognitive delays,
You can get this.
you can definitely go to Google and look up the developmental stages and see where your child is. And if your child is delayed, how can you find some supports about that? So again, we're coming to you live. This is Yahaira Lopez
And Chris Hall.
And Jameer.
And Jameer from Ask Why Mondays, Autism Sprinter.
And Computers for the Autistic
That's
And
Foundation.
I love tacos.
He loves tacos, right? So, we just wanted to come and share this and discuss, you know, Autism 101 in phase 1. We're looking forward to see you guys every Monday. You guys are definitely going to see Chris very often. And we'll see you next Monday. Good night.
And we'll check you all in the next video. See you then.